Hey, I'm gonna show you how to get oil data as well as currency data. You have a company, you might have revenues, gross income, etc. from Burst data, but you're missing all these other values, such as in order to forecast an oil company, you need the oil price, right? Or if a company has a lot of sales in the States, you obviously want to look at the currency and how it has developed. So a great way of doing this is with getting the data from the internet, obviously. But using internet queries is really nice. So let's start with currency, basically. So the website I'm using is called Netfunds. The reason why I'm using Netfunds is because in most cases data like currency and oil is it's not easily accessible because it's valuable, obviously. But on some websites you have a possibility to download data in CSV format. So Netfunds is such a website. It's available in Norwegian and Swedish, but not in English, I think. But anyways, we can start with currency. So if a company has a lot of sales in US dollar, click on US dollar. The tab we're looking for is called data export here. So, and this is interesting, the thing we're looking for, history for US dollar to Swedish krona. So it doesn't really matter which one of these we choose, but CSV always works. So right click, copy link address. Then you go back to Excel. You click on the data tab here. And then you'll do click from web. It doesn't really matter. You can do from text, like that. Copy paste the formula here. Paste the formula. Great. Open. So as you can see now, we have some issues. File origin doesn't really matter. By default, it works. Excel usually recognizes the format of a file. In this case, it identified it was a comma separated file. If we were to change this to column, all the data would be in one column, which is not optimal, seeing as we want them in different columns. So if we go back to comma, you'll see that we get open in one column, high in one column, low in another, etc. But also it happened something, Excel did something, it recognized columns like open, high, low, close, but it came at the expense of transforming this data. So if we were to do not detect data types, you'll get it in dots, exactly, perfect. So now we have, this was FX, I believe. I'm gonna remove that one. So you can call it FX. Great. So what we need to do now, seeing is if you were to make a calculation of this data, it's not a value right now. It depends on your default Excel settings, but we need to convert these values into commas, the dots in between. So if you just highlight all cells like that, and you go to the Home tab, click on Find and Select, replace Find What, dots, replace with commas, replace all. Perfect. So now when we do a calculation like between close and low, you'll get a calculation because it's values. The problem is you can update the query to the right. You'll get new ones again. You could obviously make a macro. I'm going to show you real quick. Record macro, convert comma 1. So you'll just do it like this. Go to Home tab again, Find and Select, replace, repeat it, replace all. Perfect. Go back to the developer, stop recording, look at the macro. I think it was comma 1, right? Yeah. exactly. So now you can just make a tool here. So when you get new data, you can just click the macro and it will change into commas. Sometimes VBA doesn't really work. I'm not sure why. It's a slow computer or whatever, so you'll probably have to do it manually. Doesn't really take that much time. I think it's some problem here. Format. No? So yeah, perfect. Now we have our currency. It's a US dollar towards SEK. And we want to do the same for oil. Let's go back to net funds. This time we click on Nordsolja. It can be anything like stock prices, gold index for Nasdaq, or yeah. So the possibilities are endless once you just find good websites to extract data from. We'll just do it real quick. Copy link, click on the data export, obviously, find the CSV file containing. If you were to, you'll see that it's essentially the same as the one we get in Excel. Data from web. There we go. So now you might have revenue, but you also have oil prices here, currency data here, as a support for your current calculations. Yeah.